Good morning, dear listeners. Today we start a new topic series on this series of podcasts, and this is the Micotherapy series, Healing with Therapeutic Mushrooms. This is also the topic of my new book, Self-Healing with Therapeutic Mushrooms, which is available. And so we will introduce in this podcast what is Micotherapy, and in the next podcasts we will go deeper into each therapeutic mushroom, and then we will conclude with a very short introduction about different culinary mushrooms. So what is Micotherapy? That's the question. So basically it's mushrooms which have been important in the human diet as a source of therapeutic properties since prehistory are now available in pills and powders, and they've been increasingly appreciated in the West and in the East for their nutritional value and their pharmacological properties. So basically there are a few mushrooms that are very important, and in my book I describe 16 main mushrooms, but we could say that the really essential ones are basically 6 or 7, depending on the physiology of the person and what's the needs of the person. But we will go into details in the next podcasts about that. For now, let's see where do these mushrooms come from. Well, some of them come from the East, and basically they have been in the Asian Chinese medicines for centuries. For example, reishi, it's very famous mushrooms. The thing about mushrooms is that are a distinct group of organisms which stand between human and animal realm. So they're sort of a bridge between the human realm and the animal realm, and are very important for the environment, not only for human health but also for the environment. Basically, in nature they are essential for the cycle of organic matter. They are capable of decomposing materials not degradable by other organisms, and are also important for establishing symbiosis with plants because they are sort of in between. Now, some of the isolated and identified substances that come from therapeutic mushrooms have shown to hold quite promising properties. Some of these properties can be immunomodulatory, so they modulate the immune system if it's unbalanced. They are anti-cancer. They have properties which fight tumors, or they help the organisms to fight tumors. They have cardiovascular properties, some of them, which means that they lower the rate of cholesterol, especially the low density cholesterol, which is not good for one's health. They definitely have some antiviral and antibacterial properties. They protect the liver in some cases, in some mushrooms. They lower the sugar levels in the blood, so they can be used for people with this kind of condition, diabetes type 2, and they all have antioxidant properties. So they are really promising, and it depends on each particular mushroom has sort of most of these properties, but each mushroom has a prominent property. So maybe 2 mushrooms can be chosen for problems with the cardiovascular system, high blood pressure, some other maybe 2 or 3 for the protect the liver, and most of them are antiviral, but we will look into this in each particular mushrooms. So this is just to say that they all have a function for the immune system. And the good news is that nowadays not only we can actually, some of them can be eaten, some of them cannot be eaten, but so of course the ones that can be eaten in food as a diet, we can choose, we can cook, etc. And some of them we just have to use as powders, capsules, pills, which are available on the market, and these can be supplements to the diet. And so these mushrooms can be used in the prevention and the treatment of various health conditions, and especially for lifestyle stress, are recommended for active people, athletes, for elderly people especially, and also for people with specific health, general and specific health issues. So nowadays, of course, many are already used. Many people know about mushrooms, so this is not something new, because they've been around and other books have been written. But this book that I wrote is a kind of essential compendium. So it's not very long, and basically it's very easy to find which mushrooms can we add to our diet. So some therapeutic mushrooms, such as reishi, has already been used in the last few years by many people, has been studied, and also another one, maitake, which is Grifola frondosa. It's also can also be found in some Chinese culinary dishes. And then we have shiitake and Coriolus versicolor, which are already have already been studied. These mushrooms are a potent inducer or triggers of messenger molecules such as cytokines. We already spoken about cytokines in my previous podcasts, and also interferons and growth factors. Just to conclude, it has been shown that some of these mushrooms, but actually most of them, are able to enhance the innate, not specific, and specific immune responses in the body, and they also activate many types of immune cells, such as macrophages and natural killer cells and monocytes, and that these are very important for maintaining a very healthy immune system. So we can conclude here for the introductory podcast, and in the next podcast I will start going into details for each specific mushrooms. Thank you for listening.